What kind of development is happening right now in Vancouver and Camas? Today we're going over all the projects open in the city in Vancouver and Camas, including schools, new businesses, new residential neighborhoods, and new community areas. Hey, welcome back to the Living in Vancouver and Camas, Washington YouTube channel. I'm your host, Hannah Dubyne, and I'm thankful you're here today because we are talking about things that are changing in our community. We're talking about development. And when I say development, I don't just mean new houses for people to live in, I mean everything. What inspired me to make this video is because I've been driving around a lot lately. I always drive around a lot, but lately I feel like there's just been a lot that's been going on. New quarries that are being cleared, new housing developments that are coming up, particularly in East Vancouver area, downtown Vancouver, and Camas. And so I want to share with you about these projects today. Some of them are currently in the works and they're quite a bit in process. Others have just started and others are slated to start in the next couple years. And I want you to be aware of them. Personally, I find development and building so fascinating. It is the building blocks of our community and our world, our life. It's where we go and live and do things and go to work. And so I think it's important to stay up to date on these topics. By the way, if you're new here, thanks for being here. Subscribe to the channel. We post new videos about Vancouver and Camas area every single week. And if you need help selling or buying a home, we'd love to serve you. Our contact information is down below. But I don't want to make you wait any longer. Let's get to talking about the developments in the area. All right, I have quite a comprehensive list for you guys today. So I've got my laptop below that I'm gonna look down to, and we're gonna put lots of assets up for you guys here on the screen, and we're gonna have links to our resources down below in the description. The first development I want to talk about is a neighborhood of single-family homes going in on 192nd Avenue. And as a reminder, 192nd Avenue splits Camas and East Vancouver. And I remember driving past this piece of land for years, thinking it was so hideous. I'll put a picture up here of what it used to look like. This is a picture from the assessor, the county assessor in 2019. But this is what it looked like up until probably mid or early 2023, before 𝐂𝐐𝐢 Homes bought it. 𝐂𝐐𝐢 Homes bought this piece of land to turn into 60 single-family homes. And right now, as I drive past, I can see the infrastructure going in and roads. They are going to be, I think they called them skinny homes when I reached out. They're going to be really narrow. And so I'm fascinated to see what this looks like. It is a part of the middle housing that Washington is pushing for. And so I'm sure people are gonna be really mad when they see them because they're gonna be like, oh my gosh, they're so small, they're so close together. But that is what the state wants, that's what they're incentivizing. Potentially 𝐂𝐢 is getting some, tax credits and incentives to move this type of housing into the community rather than larger lots. It is supposed to be finalized plat in about February 2025, so very soon here, and it will be sold to a vertical home builder from there. I don't know who's going to purchase it. 𝐂𝐢 will not disclose that to me at this time, but we will have to see how that turns out. So that's an extra 60 homes being built on 192nd. That's a great area to live. By the way, if you're curious, that piece of land was purchased for $3.7 million in 2023. So land in this area is really at a premium. The next fascinating development I have for you is the Leadbetter Campus in Camas, Washington. This is actually a development that's headed up by the Camas School District because this piece of land is owned by the school district. This is a 58-acre site that is on the corner of Lake Road and Leadbetter. It currently looks kind of like an abandoned building, and I'm not sure who was there before. I believe it was a company, and there's lots of land and mature trees surrounding it, so it's very pretty and open. And the district has a 3-phase plan for this piece of land. So the first phase is that they're going to sell the eastern part of this land. They're going to sell off a surplus 9 acres to a developer to create hopefully some sort of mixed-use development that has housing units, likely high density, not sure which type, but high density, and then maybe some commercial and retail as well. According to this Columbian article published about the piece of land, it could have up to 222 dense housing units. So that's really fascinating and a incredible spot to live, very convenient right there on Lake and Leadbetter. So that's phase one. Phase 2 is that they're going to develop the surrounding area for community use. So they're going to put in things like soccer fields, basketball, an amphitheater, and a playground for the community and families, children to openly use. Phase 3 of the project is to build a second high school. We all know that Camas School District has just one high school right now, and it's great. It's a total powerhouse for sports, but at some point the city is going to become big enough that we're going to need a second high school. I'm sure it will be a whole big deal because when you have one high school and you go to two, you know, it kind of divides things a little bit, but eventually we'll need that second high school. So I can appreciate that the district is planning for this. These phases don't have a disclosed timeline right now just because they don't know exactly how many people they're going to get, but I'll be really fascinated to see when this all happens. The next development on the list is the Waterfront Gateway. The Waterfront Gateway is in downtown Vancouver, and it's just south of Esther Short Park and just north of the new downtown Vancouver waterfront that's been open for the last 6 or 7 years. This area is kind of going to bridge the old downtown to the new Vancouver waterfront, so I'm really looking forward to it. The plans are still not super concrete at this point, but it's going to be a little bit of everything, including an open outdoor market, a spot where the farmers market and other festivals can take place kind of in an indoor-outdoor setting, maybe some sort of courtyard. Of course, there's going to be retail spots as well, and probably some high-density housing. In this development, they're really emphasizing the naturalness of the Pacific Northwest. They're bringing in trees and native plants and having an open plaza where people can gather. So it's all about community and bridging the old with the new. I'm really looking forward to this because right now they're parking lots and they tend to attract homeless encampments. And so that's definitely been challenging for the community and the city. We'd love to see those cleaned up and turn into something beautiful. The next development I want to share with you about is 19th Street Terrace. 19th Street Terrace is another project being developed by 𝐸𝐸. They have a lot of projects right now. They've put up a lot of signs, so I had to reach out and figure out what the situation was. This one you can actually see off of SR 14 when you're going, I usually see it when I'm going westbound downtown. It is in the Ellsworth area. It's right off of 19th Street and Maxon Road. You turn off of Ellsworth to get there. It's gonna be turned into 46 single-family home sites. It's right next to the freeway, which is a really interesting spot, very noisy. And so I'll be fascinated to see if those go up for sale to the public or if they're built for rent. But that's gonna be 46 single-family home sites and should be finalized in about June 2025 and sold to a vertical home builder. Next development, my final one from 𝐸𝐸 Homes, is also off of SR 14. It's in the old Quarry. It's in the HQ side of the kind of Columbia Palisades area. And you can see it off of the 14 when you're going either direction. It is also literally right next to SR 14. This area is going to become 60 single-family homes. It's going to be called South Cascade Terrace. It will also be done in early 2025 to sell off to a vertical home builder and start making progress on the construction side. So I'll be, again, very fascinated to see who picks up the project and if they're built for sale or for rent. It is an area of town that gets really good sale prices, so I wouldn't be surprised to see if they come up on the for sale market, but it's right next to the 14, which is not a good place to live. Anytime there's homes that come up for sale in that Fisher's Landing pocket or even Cascade Park right next to the 14, they take a long time to sell because you live next to a freeway. So, okay, the next development I have for you is so fascinating. This is a commercial development and it is the new campus for HP. HP is building a new campus in East Vancouver. They're building it in the old Quarry in East Vancouver off of First Street. I drove by it the other day and it looks insane right now. It still looks very cavernous like a quarry, and there's roads that have been paved and there's streetlights everywhere. The property is 98 acres, so it's very large. There's a lot for them to work with there. I'm not sure what their exact plans are for buildings. I don't do commercial real estate, so I just find it interesting to know what's coming up in the community. This will be good for jobs for sure, so I'm really looking forward to the economic boom that it brings to the area. And the Columbian, what they have to say about it is In 2018, HP reviewed its options for planning for growth for the next 15 to 20 years, and they settled on this site due to all of the positive things that Vancouver and Southwest Washington has going for them. Next developments I want to talk about are Columbia Palisades and the Vancouver Innovation Center. I've covered these two a lot on the channel here in recent years just because they're further along and they're of high interest for my clients in the community. Both of these developments have everything going on from retail to high density housing to more lower density housing, community areas that are open, parks, preserving natural trees, apartments. So we're going to see that in both the projects. If you want to watch the specific videos that I made about them, feel free to go check them out. We'll have them linked down below. And both these projects, they're massive, so they're probably going to take about another 10 years before they look complete. Next major development project I want to share with you about is the Heights Redevelopment District. The Heights is in the middle of Vancouver between all 4 freeways, and it was known, still is I think, as a very nice area with older homes, think 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and across the street from these homes, these nice neighborhoods, Dubois Park, McLaughlin Heights, we have an empty area in Mill Plain that, is needing some love. And so the Heights Redevelopment District has been born. Much like the Vancouver Innovation Center and the Columbia Palisades, the proposed plans for this development are, they're very similar. It's going to be apartments, including affordable housing. It's going to be high density units for anything really residential. On the bottom, there's going to be retail. There's going to be courtyards that are open. Of course, in the renderings, they always put the little string lights and people out at the farmer's market doing those kind of things. They really want to highlight some art in this development. So they're going to bring in local creators and artists, which is really cool. So I'm excited to see how that turns out. As far as I know, the Heights Redevelopment District has not really broken ground yet, and it's a little bit further behind than something like the Columbia Palisades or the Vancouver Innovation Center. The last development I want to share with you about is in East Vancouver off of SR 14 and 164th Avenue. There's a building going up right now in this little tiny sliver of land that I didn't even think you could buy. I thought that it was owned by the state because I believe the state owns SR 14 and all the freeways and whatnot. But someone bought it, and it was Gillespie Dental, and they're building a new office building right next to the freeway on the other side of the new sound wall that was just constructed. Right now, as I'm filming this, end of 2024, it's in framing, and it looks very modern and beautiful. Hopefully they're putting good insulation in it because it is literally right next to the 14. But I thought that was really interesting. They're building a brand new, beautiful, modern dentistry right there. Good for them because it's hard to find land to build on in East Vancouver right now. Lastly, I wanted to point you guys towards the City of Vancouver's website. You can go to the City of Vancouver and look at their development projects that they have going on right now. These are for larger developments such as the Heights, the Columbia Palisades, the Vancouver Innovation Center. It's not necessarily going to have those smaller subdivisions that are constantly going on and turning over after a year, but it has those big projects on there if you want more information. Thank you so much for watching this video. Obviously, I didn't cover everything that's happening in the city right now because the city is huge, but I covered some of my favorites happening. Let me know if you have anything to add down in the comments. And of course, if you need help selling or buying a home professionally in Southwest Washington, we'd love to serve you. Our contact information is down below. Bye.